Good morning. Hope you're all doing good. It's been a minute since we've done our usual legal content. Today we'll be focusing on employment matters. A lot to do with employment standards, overtime, contracts, disciplinary issues, and termination. In addition to that, we will also be doing a deep dive into employee tax considerations as well as employee deductions. The deductions we'll be talking about will include the Social Security deductions, medical deductions, and other employee deductions under the law. In order to understand the first question of that's been asked, we first need to dive into the rights and responsibilities of employees and employers in order to understand, because a lot of the things we'll be talking about today will come from the rights and obligations of the employees and employers. So the first rights and obligations of the employers, the first one is the right to a safe work environment for your employees. The second one is to fair and equal pay. And the last one is protection from discrimination. These are the obligations of the employer. The employee as well has rights, and one of those rights is to a fair pay. The other right is fair treatment at the workplace, as well as the right and freedom to organize themselves, be it under a trade union and so on and so forth. So these obligations that we have just stated give rise to these rights and vice versa. So it creates a trust between the employer and the employee, both ways, to create basically a conducive working environment for both employers and employee. And failure to fulfill these obligations, be it on the part of the employer or on the part of the employee, would lead to penalties and other non-compliance risks that would cause a big risk mainly to the employer. Okay, so payroll taxes, this is the deductions that are made by the employer on behalf of the employee to the government before the salary is paid. So these are those deductions that are deducted before you actually receive your salary. So this may include pay as you earn, the Social Security, which is the ZSSF in the case of Zanzibar. It could also be the skills development levy, or it could be the workman compensation, and a variety of other deductions as well. This is what we call payroll taxes. Okay, what is PAYE? So PAYE is this pay as you earn tax. It's basically a tax that is charged directly on your income, right? So this is pay as you earn. So it's deducted on your monthly wages. So the employer is supposed to automatically deduct those wages from your salary before you actually receive your salary. That's why we have net and basic pay. The calculation for PAYE, there is a specific formula that is used to calculate this. You should be able to find it on the TRA website. Okay. Skills development levy, this is also another income tax that is taxed on the employee's wages, even though it is not taken directly from the employee's wages. It is simply an amount that is equal to a certain percentage of the employee's wages. What is the purpose of this fund? Basically, this is a deduction from the wages in order for the government to put those funds towards the capacity building of the workforce. What do I mean by that? These are the funds that the government is supposed to direct towards adding skills to the workforce. That's why, hence the term skills development, in order to ensure that the workforce is skilled, appropriately skilled, and continuously skilled to meet the demands of the market. So this is the whole idea behind skills development levy. If I'm not mistaken, in Zanzibar, part of this fund also goes to tertiary education and other ways of building the capacity of the workforce. Another thing to know about the skills development levy is that it is only applicable to institutions or businesses that have more than 5 employees. So for those institutions that have less than that amount, they are not obligated to register for SDL. But if you are having more than 5 employees, then you are automatically compelled to register with SDL. Okay, skills development levy. This is also another income tax that is taxed on the employees' wages, even though it is not taken directly from the employees' wages. It is simply an amount that is equal to a certain percentage of the employees' wages. What is the purpose of this fund? Basically, this is a deduction from the wages in order for the government to put those funds towards the capacity building of the workforce. What do I mean by that? These are the funds that the government is supposed to direct towards adding skills to the workforce. That's why, hence the term skills development, in order to ensure that the workforce is skilled, appropriately skilled, and continuously skilled to meet the demands of the market. So this is the whole idea behind skills development levy. If I'm not mistaken, in Zanzibar, part of this fund also goes to tertiary education and other ways of building the capacity of the workforce. Another thing to know about the skills development levy is that it is only applicable to institutions or businesses that have more than 5 employees. So for those institutions that have less than that amount, they are not obligated to register for SDL. But if you are having more than 5 employees, then you are automatically compelled to register with SDL. Okay, so payroll taxes, this is the deductions that are made by the employer on behalf of the employee to the government before the salary is paid. So these are those deductions that are deducted before you actually receive your salary. So this may include pay as you earn, the Social Security, which is the ZSSF in the case of Zanzibar. It could also be the skills development levy, or it could be the workman compensation, and a variety of other deductions as well. This is what we call payroll taxes. Yes, this is a simple question, but it also confuses a lot of people. So it is important to know who has the onus to basically make these submissions. So it is important to know that the employer is the one responsible for making these deductions on behalf of the employees. So I know that there have been cases where the employees themselves have said, you know what, I don't want you to deduct my ZSSF or my pay as you earn because I don't want my salary to be less than what it is. In that case, the employee must have that the employer must have that employee sign a waiver, because showing that you had offered that employee to be deducted a certain amount, but they denied it. In order for you not to have the risk or being charged a penalty for not deducting your employees' taxes, you're supposed to write a waiver. But that may not be the case for taxes with TRA, which is the pay as you earn. This might work with other taxes like ZSSF last time I checked. But I do advise that every time you are making these submissions, to always consult your consultants, whether it's your HR, your attorney, or the government officers within the relevant authority. The Zanzibar Health Service Fund came into force in 2003 through the Act number 1 of 2003, if I'm not mistaken. This is a medical fund for employees in Zanzibar. In addition to the ZSSF, this is a specific fund that goes to the health insurance of the employees. For Zanzibar, the fees that are charged for this are the employee pays a 3.5 percentage. This is from their gross monthly wages, and the employer as well deducts 3.5% from their monthly gross wages, making a total of 7%. I hope that is very clear. It's important to know these figures because they are very straightforward. The Workers' Compensation Fund is basically an insurance that is put in place to compensate employees for any eventualities that may happen during the course of their employment. So this could be getting injured or being disabled during the course of employment, or even dying during the course of employment. So this fund is given as compensation to the person that whatever calamity has befallen, or the families of the person who had died during the course of his employment. It is a form of compensation. For Zanzibar, this is 1% of the employee's wages, and the employee does not have to contribute anything. This comes directly from the employer. The employer pays 1% of the employee's wages, but they are not deducted from the employee's wages. It's very important to understand these differences. Normally, I don't dive into the risks and the specific penalties that are given, but today I thought that it's important that we just touch on it so that every employer understands the severity of non-compliance of these matters. So, for instance, if you have not paid your SDL or your pay as you earn, you are charged a monthly penalty of around 225,000, right, which is almost like 2.5% a month. And for each month that you continue to not make those payments, that amount will continue to accumulate on a monthly basis. This the same something similar also applies to ZSSF, where you would be penalized for non-compliance, where you would have to pay a penalty of up to 5 million or a jail sentence of up to 1 year. So yeah, these are actually very serious matters. So I would advise all employers, by the way, to take heed. So the same applies to the workman compensation. There is also a 5 million penalty for non-compliance, as well as a 1-year jail sentence. For the Zanzibar Health Fund, the penalty for non-compliance is 1 million and a jail sentence of 6 months. So there is real jail time, in case you didn't know. So now that we know all these risks, the obligations on part of the employers, and the rights of the employers, what are the best practices that one can take from all of this to ensure that you are being compliant? So the first thing that I would say is you should develop a comprehensive payroll system, right? That sort of has all these deductions in place. Some people will use QuickBooks and other software finance applications that could be used to make this entire process easier, and you can make this deduction. And the government of Zanzibar as well has made a lot of these processes much easier, because they could be done online. The second thing you want to have is, as I said, the payroll tools and also a payroll strategy. You should know about these things beforehand. That way it's not a knee-jerk reaction that, oh, we're supposed to pay this. It's better to plan this as part of your HR and payroll strategy before you even employ your first employee. The second thing that you want to know is just stay updated on tax laws. Not only lawyers and HR officers are required to. You can also update yourself with these laws every time they come out, and ask your consultant or your HR or your accountant for the employee taxes. They might be able to advise you accordingly. Another thing that I always advise employers is seek professional help. I myself, for instance, if I am doing a certain business endeavor, I usually hire some lawyers to have my back, because I know that if I try too much to do everything myself, I might try to pinch a few pennies and save some money, but it will cost me more in the long run. So what I do is I look at how much is my investment and how much do I actually value that investment, and then I hire an accountant or another attorney to help me, because at the end of the day, whatever amount that you get from the professional, whatever service you get from a professional comes with a professional liability. So for us, for instance, attorneys, we have confidentiality and we also have professional liability for advising you. So these are the main 5 tips I would like you to take away. Have a comprehensive payroll strategy, use the right payroll tools, consult professionals, and stay updated on the current tax laws. And the last one is continue watching our videos. Thank you, and hope you have a good day.